All right. So what I would say is, I had thought the way the school used to be set up, Scott, like where that car is coming out right there, like you could actually loop around and you could go into the front of the school over there. Unfortunately, we can't do that anymore because there's no place to park anything. And if you were to do like a dream sequence where like if, as Paul comes in and he turns, he hears a bunch of kids, like you would have some kids playing like that, and like those kids right there. And then like Paul's looking here, here's those kids, turns, and then I think that's how the dream sequence starts. You know what I'm saying? And then
well, if we can get some people who got some decent pictures of the school
from back then, that would be.
From back then, and then he comes up on Paul drives a motorcycle, if I remember right? He comes pulling up on his way, hits here, sees the kids, and then you go into where more of a montage of the old pictures.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's when you go back into it.
Right.
And see, what I'm thinking is that the whole, I know I'm taping this and everyone's going to be able to hear what we're saying out loud in real time, but these are just thoughts and ideas. But there's no way to be able to do it in front of where the old school used to be, or even where the old entrance of the middle school was, because that's all one big building now. This is like so crazy.
Well, there's entrances over there.
Well, there is, but hear me out here, Scott. What I'm saying. Now, I don't, in terms of a music video, I don't think that there would, the whole beginning sequence doesn't have any music to it.
Right.
Right up until the point where, like, I could stand right up at that post with a guitar, or at that post, and then as Paul pulls in, we start the music. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And then, like, tilt my head towards, here comes Paul. Paul pulls up. The music has now started. He's looking. And basically, he looks and he turns. And then where those kids were when they were over here, he sees the kids, or he hears the kids. Maybe we can even catch as the other people come pulling in, and then the whole, that montage, that sequence of going into the actual dream. See, and I don't know. I guess the best thing that guy came from that direction with the motorcycle. Okay, right. I don't know if he came down Lower Ferry or not, but I mean, just for efficiency's sake, probably best just to have Paul come up from where, ride up from this direction, from like where Ringo's would be.
Right.
So, all right, just like stand there, you're looking at the school. Look at the school, and then you're going to play Paul for me for a second. And then, and then like look over your left shoulder, and then you hear those kids, and then we hear those kids, all of our friends pull up, the dream sequence starts. Now that's where we're going to need montages of the school the way it was. And I mean, like I said, without Dr. Weiner getting back to me, I don't know if we're going to get into the school. Look at that, the lights are on in the school. We couldn't get that lucky, could we? Somebody's in here. Please call custodians. Well, anyway. Oh, look at that, right on the back of the sign. No, Wildcats. Picture of the Wildcat. So we got to get a hold of Rose and find out what we were. Rose was the actual... She was our mascot? Really?
She dressed up, I know, for at least one of the things. I think that in the yearbook there's a picture of her.
That's pretty cool.
In the outfit. I remember her talking on Facebook about it, something like that.
Well, anyway, all right, so I think this is the only place we could use where we could actually start the video from. And we don't actually have to get into the school at this point to use that. And again, who knows if we're ever going to get into the school, given the whole COVID-19 kind of crazy thing. So,
looks like we just did the sidewalk.
you know, I don't remember them having park benches outside for us to sit on.
No.
When we were kids, we sat on the dirt. You just, that was it.
I think there were benches down by the ball fields we sat on.
Oh yeah, you're right. There were. Yeah.
But that was about it.
Yeah, you had to walk down to those. They weren't right up here.
No.
See, I get it that this is the actual real main entrance of the school now.
But I think your that entrance would be better if you wanted the bunch of kids playing for him.
Yeah, for him to turn around to, because there's no place to do it here. I mean, there's just nothing here to. You can't park anything. I mean, if you were meeting a bunch of friends, there's no place to park. So yeah, I guess that's really the only place you could do it. All right. Well, that's. So I think that kind of starts the dream sequence, and if we can't get into the school, we're going to have to find some place where we can like have a mock-up or do some kind of a sequence where, you know, everybody from the class got to go into the school. Now, Paul and I were talking about this, and Paul brought up a pretty darn good idea. You know, this is that idea being that the kind of the end of the video be like a barbecue meet and greet type of thing, but that which kind of leads us into our live version of what we're going to be doing with live music for the Unity project. Which I think was kind of an excellent idea. I kind of saw it more of like, if like, you know, Lou Jean played like this magical Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, but who was the girl that was in that movie? I don't even remember her name. But anyway, whoever, you know, like she has this magic spell, she throws the magic spell, we all wind up back there, and then when the end of the video comes, we're at a barbecue. But then that would be like the barbecue. We could be doing a barbecue at the live event, which kind of ties the two together.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, that's. I thought it was an excellent idea. To be honest with you. And then you know what I'm saying? It kind of brings you from back then to now. I just kind of thought, well, cut it off right there and let that kind of be the end of it, and then we just do a live event. Man, look at that. That is, you know, somebody's out baling hay today. I mean, just that old slate roof. Look, that's got to be like.
I think they've redone that.
You think so? Well, I mean, look at how
these are newish. So now I'm looking up here, looking at how they're. You take a look here.
Yeah, these are much thicker. Those are old and worn.
Yep.
I mean, you can. Let me see if I can get.
I think this corner here might be an addition. It's kind of hard because they repointed everything.
Yeah. That might be original there, because you can see a stark difference between there and there. Okay, so let's see if I can back out. Okay. And then
I was trying to remember, didn't we for lunch come over to the cafeteria over here? They didn't bring, although we had tables and like that came out of walls and the
no, we came over here for lunch. This is where we came over here for lunch.
So this is
where Greg dumped the plate of spaghetti on Lou Jr., remember that?
Greg Weber?
Greg Weber?
What did she do? Or
Huh?
he did it by accident?
No, he didn't do it by accident. He did it on purpose. I didn't actually see him dump it on her head. I actually come walking in after. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say he dumped it on her head. She was covered in spaghetti. That's all I can tell you.
Spitting and sputtering, I'm sure.
She was not happy with Greg. I can tell you that. But yeah, we came in. Well, this whole building wasn't here. This whole piece of this building.
I think this was the main entrance to the...
I think it had to be right there.
Then we went down.
Yeah. Then we went down